Alright, what's going on, boys? Trade recap today for April 10th, Friday, April 10th, and I did not trade good this morning. Did not trade good. There's a lot to break down. This might be, honestly, one of my most important videos that I've ever recorded, to be honest, because I'm going to dive into a lot of important psychological and mental aspects when it comes to trading. You can see the P&L is up on the day, but we're took essentially two trades, re-entered here after this one got break even, so a loss and basically a win. So I'm going to play the daily bias, and then it's going to hop right into these different trades right here. So we'll go and break everything down after the bias and these live trades. All right, daily bias coming into the morning for Friday, April 10th. Bullish or bearish? We have two really good draws on liquidity this morning, in my opinion. We have this data high up here from pre-market CPI, and then we also have this sell side down here, but we also have triple equal lows on MNQ. I think it's only double equal lows on NQ, but on MNQ, these are triple equal lows. If we come to the 5-minute, low here, and a low here. So very strong draws on liquidity to the upside and the downside, kind of using this 15-minute. This is a 15-minute fair value gap on NQ. It's a little bit skewed on MNQ, but kind of using this 15-minute as my condition, right? So like in these internal highs. So if we come up close above these internal highs, I'm good to target this data high, which is already a very strong draw on liquidity. But if we come down and displace through this 15-minute gap, I'm then good to target these triple lows down here, and then it's also like just hourly stacked lows. And it makes sense to get a retrace on these indexes. These indexes are so NQ and ES are so overheated right now. So I could definitely see us starting to make our way down to get a retrace. But before that retrace happens, we could come up and take this liquidity. We just don't know, right? So that's why I have these ideas and these conditions set in place. So we'll see what happens. We're coming down to this 15-minute fair value gap now. So two good draws on liquidity on both sides of the market. And just going to sit back and wait for price action to tell us where it wants to go first. Alright, so it looks like we're going to take the data high. Definitely didn't like that market open candle to be actually slapping on risk there. Alright, so took the data high off open without any entry provided. So we'll see if we want to continue past the data high, or so if we want to continue past it to these daily highs up here, or if we want to just sweep it and then continue lower. We haven't yet taken it on NQ, so that's a bit interesting. MNQ did take it, so we'll see what we want to do here. So I entered on NQ on that inverse from the 15. It was a nice buy up. We still haven't taken the data high on NQ, which is why I entered after rebalancing to the 15-minute. Put in this internal high after coming down into this drawdown. If we come up and to where this first internal high was, I'm going break even.
Order filled.
I mean, like, this is the textbook flip here. Don't really know why we chop around like that, but Like, this is the textbook flip if you're gonna take a trade.
Order filled. Order filled.
So today was very weird, and I said this in the live analysis, but M&Q, which is what I normally trade because it's easier to risk, took the data high off of market open. Meanwhile, NQ didn't. And so that kind of left me in a sketched position, debating on whether or not I want to take a trade on NQ to the data high. Because M&Q basically, you can think about it, M&Q copies NQ. NQ is the main futures contract. So that was a bit weird. So yeah, that was just a bit weird, and I didn't know if I wanted to take this initial trade here. Not the best displacement, but we did come down. Market opens here at 9:30. Market opens, we come down to the 15-minute, get bought up. Very iffy. Very, very iffy. I just felt like I was honestly, I get too fixated on data highs, on data news with candles. And this has bit me in the past. The last time it bit me was literally one of the first videos that I made since coming back to making videos. This was back in February. I think it was, I blew an eval on one of these type of trades. Where I'm just super fixated on a data wick candle, and I end up scaling in a little bit further than I should in order to find an entry to that data wick, to that data candle. Because if we come to the 5-minute chart, at no point here did we ever close 5-minute, 15-minute candles confirming that we're going higher, right? It was solely based on the 1 minute. And when you zoom in and go straight to the 1-minute chart, I've said this multiple times, it just leads to you getting chopped up, faked out, and it usually leads to very negative outcomes. And I'm considering today today was a bad trading day for me. I don't care about the P&L being up. The P&L being up is just like, I kind of just got saved, in my opinion. I don't even know how to feel about it. I've never really been in this situation where I've traded bad, I felt like, and then had a green P&L in the day. So yeah, just it all boils down to me being too hyper fixated and zoomed in when it comes to trying to take a trade to a data wick news candle, when in reality, I just have to treat it like any other draw on liquidity. So that's the main problem with today. So the first trade wasn't a good trade, in my opinion. If we can just go back. First entry was not a good trade, in my opinion. Too zoomed in, too hyperfixated on this data wick. The second trade, though, is the best trade of the morning. I think this was the trade of the morning right here, because we then come down and get a further retrace down into this 15-minute. This 15-minute, like I said in the pre-market analysis, was kind of my condition. And then we get very, very nice, actually get displacement from the 15-minute. I'm going to switch this over real quick. Usually ES is on the screen. But I traded NQ today rather than MNQ because of the data. But yeah, come down further into this 15-minute gap and actually get good displacement. You can see it on the 1 minute. You can see it on the 5-minute candle here. Like, this is actually a good move, good trade entry. It was about a 1.6 and ended up getting break even because I went break even at this internal high here. And yeah, we got this crazy candle that sold off, got break even on it, and then it went to the data high. But I did end up re-entering after getting break even here because we came down to the 5 minute, got bought up here. You can see it was something like this. Let me zoom in. Got bought up from the 5 minute gap, and at this point in time, like, we had failed to displace below the 15 minute gap multiple times. So in my opinion, today was going to be one of those mornings where it's just going to take forever to take the data high. So my high time frame, or my drawn liquidity, was still intact. At this point in time, I could tell it's going to be one of those days where we just chop and chop and slowly grind towards the draw. And it's a Friday, so it made a lot of sense to me. We came back down to this 5 minute, rebalanced. I believe I entered here with a stop below here. So this was about another 1.5. Kind of inverse that right there. And I don't want to get bogged down on this kind of entry model because of the fact that this is me just continuing to trade towards the drawn liquidity. And like, this isn't like a good quote unquote entry model. And it was a bit emotional of me to re-enter here, but at the same time, taking trades on NQ versus MNQ, I had to place more risk on the table because these contracts have a lot more size to them, obviously, right? So that's that. Those are my 3 entries this morning. Like I said, the draw on liquidity was correct. We did end up finally taking the data high on NQ. It was just super sketch, and not proud of the way that I traded whatsoever. And this was the first day. Like, this was a very bad week for me. My first loss that I took on Tuesday should not have been a loss. My stop loss was too tight. And then yesterday was a statistical loss. So I don't really have anything to regret about yesterday's loss. But it sucked knowing that, okay, I'm down on the week. Like, Tuesday's trade, which was a loss, it was minus 500 P&L. That's $1,000 swing because it ticked me out to the tick, went to take profit, and it was because of my own wrongdoing of playing a stop loss too tight, entering down too close in premium of the range. And it was essentially that loss happened because of me, and it should have been a win. So that's $1,000 swing. I then took another statistical loss yesterday, and so down on the week when I should have been still up on the week. And yeah, dude, I just got super stressed out this past week. I don't know why. I hadn't felt this stressed out in so long. Literally last night, couldn't sleep at all. Tossing and turning, waking up at 12 a.m., 1 a.m. And in this constantly stressed state. So, and it affected my trading this morning. So, I don't know. I was already kind of rattled coming into today's trading session, and I don't. But I'm making this video and being as transparent as I possibly can because this stuff happens, dude. This stuff happens in trading. It is real. And it's important to recognize your own emotions and your own thoughts. It's important to recognize these things and so that you can improve and protect yourself in the future. And they're real, and it's okay. It's okay. I am not a perfect trader by any means. Yes, I'm finding success recently, and I'm super grateful that I am. And I'm trading. I've been doing the best that I've ever done trading wise. But I'm still human, and I truly think we should expect out of ourselves. I expect out of myself to come on to the market for an hour and a half each morning and be perfect. Like, I expect that out of myself. But ultimately, sometimes you're going to slip up. And so with that being said, emotions are kind of all over the place. I wasn't able to make this video and put it out earlier this morning, partially because this didn't hit TP until 11:24 New York time. So going forward, um, I haven't had to put any parameters on these accounts since the past 2 months. Since I haven't had any parameters on these accounts since I've started to get payouts. But I'm going to just try to be safe and protect myself. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set a lockout limit, P&L wise, and I just want to be transparent about it. Like, there's no shame in that. Sometimes I think it's just important. There's no shame in it. I think it's just showing the importance of recognizing that, hey, I'm a little bit emotionally unstable right now in the charts. I'm a little bit rattled, and it's okay. It happens, right? Trading isn't going to be a straight up linear process, obviously. So I'm going to be setting a lockout limit P&L wise, whatever. So it'll be like $600 because I'm going to be risking 1/4 of the drawdown. So it'll be like $600 lockout limit, auto liquidate, just to put parameters in place to protect myself. It's not because I don't trust myself. I just want to be smart because I know what I'm feeling right now, and for whatever reasons, um, probably because of how tough the loss was on Tuesday and then taking another loss this week. I don't know. I was just a bit rattled for whatever reasons and stressed out constantly yesterday, last night. Like I said, literally couldn't sleep. And then leading all the way into the charts this morning, coming into the morning with a bit of a stressed state in the back of my mind for whatever reason. So yeah, with that being said, just going to take a step back this weekend, reflect on the week and the trades that I did take this week, take a step back and remind myself who I am, what I do, and how I've found success doing this, and just be thankful that things didn't blow up in front of my face this morning, even though I feel like I did overtrade a little bit and then execute to the way that I really wanted to. So yeah, man. Balance is at 2,200, so I just need one more good trade for another decent payout on this account. It'll be my third if we can get to that point. Third payout on this account if we can get to that point. I already have four winning days. Balance isn't as high as I would like it to be, but I cannot complain because honestly could have very easily blown up in my face today. So like I said, just gonna take a step back, reflect, remind myself who I am. I'm a disciplined trader, so and yeah, just stick to what's gotten me here. So with that being said, appreciate you watching. I don't know when this video is gonna come out. Maybe Friday night or this weekend. So just gonna enjoy the time off, enjoy the weekend, and get back after it next week. So appreciate you watching, and I will see y'all in the next one. Peace.